We're now going to show you how we load the drum into the mixer. So open the doors of the mixer, pull this tab here, slide the bar back, next thing, on the drum here, the drum's retained by these two pins. So what we need to do is undo the locking pin. You leave the pins in place, you just take the locking pins out. So we're going to maneuver now onto these. It's necessary that we have some guidance, some guidelines on the floor, just so it makes it easier to line the unit up. We've adjusted the height. There's an arrow around here so I can see the height is correct. So then push the unit forward, following your lines. You can steer it from the back end, going nice and gently. Once you get so far like that where you're about to enter, look at your alignment, make sure you're straight. It's worth having a look around here. And obviously if you've got someone to help you, they can actually view it from the side through the mesh to actually guide you onto the pins. So you can see there we're slightly out of alignment. So all we do is just bring it across. Straight in. You can have a look to see that the pins look equal, and equally I can check the gaps. So that looks good. So next thing I'll do is I'm going to do a changeover on the pins, so change the pins from the stacker to the mixer, and then we'll show you the next step. I'm now going to show you moving the pins. So the pin is here. So all we do is take this one out, and this shaft here is to the mixer, so we put the pin in that one. So that means that this left hand pin is holding the drum to the mixer, and we're going to do the same on the right hand side, so we can leave the drum behind and take the stacker away. The next part is to actually lower the stacker away, because at the minute there's a lot of weight on it and we want to transfer the weight onto the mixer pins. And we do that by using this little lever here. And on the side of the stacker, we'll show you a bit later on, there's two arrows. So it's got unload stacker and load stacker. So all I do is open this little valve here. I'll move that hand so you can see it. Watch the arrows, and then I can lower down so the arrow is on the line. So I've lowered the stacker head away, so the weight is now on the pins of the mixer. We've pinned it to the mixer so we know that it can't come off the mixer. And what I can do now is retract this, so we just move this away, and we've left the drum behind in the mixer. There's brakes on the back of here, so you just put a brake on so it stays there. So I can see here now the pins are in, but I need to now put the lock-in R pins in. So we put them in so the pins can't come out when it's mixed, when the drum is rotating. So we just line up the hole, put the R pin in, same this side. So that's it, the drum is locked in, valves are closed. Let's close the gates. Then we move this across. That's it closed. There's gate switches on here. So there's gate switches which won't allow it to mix unless the gates are closed. Then we come to our panel here, and we can select run, and we can adjust the speed. So let's select run. Let's leave it to mix. We're now going to show you how to level the drum. So we want the drum level, so when we can take it out with the rotator. So on the top of the arm here, there's a spirit level, you can see through the mesh. And on the control here, we have run, and run is when it goes continually, and jog is when it just moves very gently. So let's just turn it on jog. So you can stop it at any point on jog, and I can see the bubble now, and just, there we go, the bubble is bang on in the middle, so we know the head is horizontal, and that will match the level on the other head, so we have both heads completely level when we come in. Right, the next part is the drum's been mixing for the time we need, so we want to take the drum out now. We've done the leveling exercise, so let's open the gates. First thing to remember to do is you want to take out the lock-in R pins. So not the lock-in pins, just the R pins. So pull the R pin out. So leave the retaining pin in. Okay, so next thing, we're going to bring the stacker in. We check our lines here on our arrows to make sure we're at the correct height. But this is very easy when we come in. We can adjust the height of the head at any stage with the hand pump here. This lever here is the hand pump. We check that we're level. So we're level here and we're level on the head. So we should be in a good position to line up the pins. So let's just wheel in. You can steer at the back. And you can see, I can see there that that's looking pretty good. Little minor adjustment. And then once it enters, push it all the way home. At this stage, don't put the brakes on, leave the brakes off, because then we can do a transfer of the pins onto the unit. Provided you're on flat level ground, there's no need to put the brakes on at this stage. It helps if you can actually, when you're taking the pins out, push the unit forward maybe a little bit. We'll do a close-up now, again, of transferring the pins from the mixer back to the stacker head. So we're now looking at the pin arrangement in the bottom. So this is the pin in the mixer head, and what we want to do is transfer it to the bottom hole on the rotator head. So we just take the pin out, place it in the bottom hole, and that's it on the left side, and we do the same on the right side. Okay, we're now looking at these two nylon arrows here and this black line. So what we need to do now is take the weight. So take the weight on the head, and we do that by pumping this hand pump. As you can see, the arrow's coming up now, and I do that until the arrow is on the line. When it's on the line, it means the weight is now being picked up by the stacker and ready to pull the drum away from the mixer. Okay, the next thing is the pins are holding it to the stacker now, and we've lifted it up a little bit. So what we do now is use this handle. Don't snatch at this. Just literally keep your back straight, and just lean, keep it nice and straight, and the stacker will come away. So if I turn this a little bit. So the next thing to do, very important, is put the R pins in now, which makes this nice and safe and secure. So we just go to the front of the unit, take the R pin here, line it up with the pin. So that's the pin locked in place now onto the head. Again, same on this side. Okay, so we have our drum of mixed material. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how we take the lid off and we put the discharge cone in place instead. We've now fitted the cone. Before rotating it, make sure all your valves are closed. Make sure your R pins and lock-in pins are in. Then here we use our rotating handle to manually rotate the drum over. So we wind this handle. It's important when winding it to ensure that you have enough height. So I normally start and wind it so far, and then I'll raise it up, and that'll raise the handle. So we go to the back panel. We've connected an air line now because this manual pump, you know, the pump speed is going to be very slow and very labour intensive. So if we plug in an air line, we can power lift the unit. Pump makes quite a thumping noise. So we press operate and lift. check that we have enough space there to rotate all the way over. And again, on the head here, we have a bubble level. So again, you can rotate the handle so the bubble is in the middle. And that's it. So all we have to do now is raise it to full height. And again, we press the operate button, press lift. So that's it at full height. Now when the drum's lifted, this is pneumatic hydraulic. So you can actually disconnect the airline. So it doesn't need the airline to maintain the lift. With the airline disconnected, you can still lower the unit, you just can't raise it anymore. So we can lower the head here by operating this valve. So we can do any final docking, you know, if we're docking this collar into the unit, if we want to raise that up, we can just manually pump to do fine adjustments, or we can use this lever to lower. Just very important things to remember when operating these sort of machines is single operator from behind, operating the controls, and make sure no one is near the front when you're operating any of the controls.